Okay, so I think this is day 6 of these sessions, whatever. It's the last session where I'm actually going to record anything. The next one will be the final mix. This session is to record some solo guitar, a kind of featured solo, which is coming on the third time the verse comes around, the verse and the bridge. I'm keeping it fairly simple, partly because I don't want a kind of virtuoso solo. It's a pop song, so it needs something simple and melodic. I thought out something that is that, and I may well play a second guitar as a harmony to it, kind of a little bit Thin Lizzy style. We'll see how that goes, but let's get the first solo down. Luckily, I've got a couple of verses and bridges to practice on. I've got the vocals muted, so I'm just going to record all the way through. I've got this on a dedicated track, so it's on a separate track to everything else that's on tape. So I'll get to play it twice before I actually play it for real, where it's actually going to be placed. Hopefully I should be able to get through that without making any noticeable mistakes. So a word about the sound. I've tweaked the sound on the camera a little bit, so I'm hoping there won't be any clipping, as there has been, unfortunately, in the previous videos. I've reduced the level slightly, and I've put an 80 Hertz low cut on it. I've also activated the 100 Hertz shelf on the desk on all the tracks. I didn't have that activated on the backing track, and that may have been causing a little bit too much bass to come through. So I think I've tamed that for now. We'll have to see when we get around to doing the final mix in the next video. Okay, so as usual, it's cross your fingers, wish me luck, and here we go. Okay, so I've listened to the first solo guitar. It sounds fine. Um, we'll listen to that when I go through each of the individual tracks during the final mix. We'll jump straight into doing the second solo guitar, so a harmony part. This is going to have to share a track with the backing vocal due to limited tracks. That's quite common to have more than one instrument on the same track. With a lot of care, that's quite possible. Obviously, you've got to be careful not to erase any of the second or even third instrument on this particular track. There's just enough gap, I'm hoping, to drop in, as they say, meaning press record while the tape's playing, play the part, and then press stop before the backing vocal comes in again. So fingers crossed. I've got it set up so there's going to be a chorus and then the solo comes. So wish me luck.
Staring at your telephone, a million miles away. Lights are on, but there's no one home. You won't come out today. Put it down and talk to me. There's something I must say. Wanna tell you that I love you, but you might just run away.
Okay, I think that was okay. I'll have a quick listen and get back to you, so stay tuned. Okay, I've got the solo guitars lined up on their own without the backing track. They've both got reverb, plate reverb and delay. It's quite a long delay, but just a couple of repeats. That's what I've put on the vocals, and I've simply used the same combination of effects for the guitars. It makes it kind of homogeneous, but it also saves an awful lot of tweaking during the final mix. So let's listen to them in isolation.
Staring.
Okay, we'll listen now to the solos, but with the backing track. So here we are at last. It's the final mix. Part of the recording process I probably enjoy the most. At last I can hear the fairly ordinary parts that I've played together in context and suitably tweaked to kind of posh them up a bit. And I'm actually quite pleased with the results of these sessions. This is day 7, so this is roughly a week's work with probably 3 or 4 hours a day messing around, recording and filming. A word about the sound on these videos. I have to apologise for the clipping that's been occurring in the videos up to this point. That's down to the camera, or at least my lack of skill with the camera. I'm a newbie in video making. I set it to the prescribed minus 12 decibels, which is actually pretty low, but it still insisted on clipping. I reduced that to minus 15 and there's still slight clipping problems. I've now got it at minus 18, so it's a little bit quieter, noticeably quieter, but hopefully clearer. But I'm going to upload the song in its own right in good audio quality, so you'll be able to hear the results of these sessions in full hi-fi glory on a dedicated video. Okay, first of all, I'll take you through the EQ settings quickly. On the vocals, we've got plus 3 dB of high frequency boost. We've got about minus 6 dB of mid cut at about 600 Hertz and about 3 dB of low frequency of bass cut. The solo guitar, the second solo guitar is on the harmony vocal track. It shares a track, so it's stuck with that EQ. I simply reduce the level a bit when it comes in, which I've got marked here on the fader. The main solo guitar has got more or less the same EQ as the vocals, so bass cut and mid cut at 600. I've got no high frequency boost because it's trebly enough already, and too much treble on a distorted guitar sounds horrible. I've got it muted until it comes in because it was buzzing pretty badly. Being a Stratocaster, under all this lights and equipment, they pick up all the ambient interference and hum like hell. I've got a pretty ferocious noise gate on that, so that should calm that down a little bit. I'll play you the beginning of the track complete, and then I'll isolate the vocals so we can hear them and just how much delay and reverb there is on them. And then I'll play them in context again with the track. Quick word about the effects. The reverb I'm using is the quad reverb, the small plate, and I'm using the space echo. I'm using a fairly long delay, kind of 3/4 time delay, which is a common soundman trick to flatter the vocals, with about 3 repeats on it. You'll hear that when I solo the vocals and the guitars later. And they're being fed here. I've got a kind of medium amount on about 3 here on the 2 vocals. I've got a little bit more reverb on the solo guitar. Here I've got that on 12 o'clock. And I've got a little bit more delay on it as well. Okay, having the same reverb and delay on the vocals and guitar, it makes it sound homogeneous, but also as I've got track sharing here, I don't really want to be tweaking these because they're very, very sensitive and it's hard to get back to where you were. and you've got to be careful when you've only got one pair of hands that you're not overstretching yourself in terms of having to adjust things as the track goes along. It should be more or less pre-mixed. Slight fader movements are fine, and muting something and then activating it again is okay, but you need to keep what you've actually got to do actively down to a minimum so that you can concentrate on listening. So a lot of the mixing is actually done as you go along and before the final mix comes along. So if you do a lot of the work before that, a lot of the tweaking and EQing and dosing the effects, then when it comes down to the mix at this stage, you've got very little to do, which is great. You can simply enjoy. Okay, so here's the track, and I'll solo the vocals a little while after they come in.
I was once a stranger, living in a stranger land, looking out for danger, finding footprints in the sand. You came out of nowhere, said hello and grabbed my hand. Tell me it's not true. It's all down to you and everything you do. Staring at your telephone a million miles away. Lights are on, but there's no one home. You won't come out to play. Why don't you put it down? Talk to me. There's something I must say. Wanna tell you that I love you, but you might just run away.
So that sounds, as I said, I think previously, the delays sound way too much, and it sounds like it's, you know, in a huge bathroom, reverb wise, but in the context of the track, that kind of helps the vocals to sit, to be not quite so in your face, to give them a bit more space, but to make them present without being subjectively louder. That's a very subjective thing. But the trick of putting a 3/4 time delay on the vocal is very flattering, and I've heard a lot of live engineers do that in bands that I've been in at professional level, but also other bands. You can hear that's a very common effect put onto live voices, so I tend to do that to my voice because I don't like it. Which is pretty common. Okay, next we'll fast forward to the part where the solos come in, and I'll do the same. I'll play the track with the solos, and then I'll mute the backing track, and we'll listen to the solos on their own.
Wanna tell you that I love you, but you might just run away.
So again, you can hear the delays also sound too much when the guitars are on their own, but it, like the vocals, it helps them sit in the track and kind of makes them a little bit more three-dimensional. Okay, so we may as well listen to the track to the end, so the last verse, bridge and chorus, and then I'll get back to you.
Staring at your telephone a million miles away. Wanna tell you that I love you, but you might just run away.
Well, I'm really pleased with that. I'll be uploading it in its own dedicated video, YouTube audio only video. I'll be doing that after I've uploaded this video, so you'll be able to listen to it in hi-fi quality as far as YouTube allows. And just say thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. Very, very nice to get comments. Please leave a comment if you should so wish, and subscribe should you so wish, and like, even better. Spread the word, tell other people about my channel, and there'll be more to come. So yeah, stay tuned.